Good morning, Julian McBain here, and this is my 19th Saturday vlog. And so, I'm just going to get my bearings real quick. It's been a couple days since I've played Entropia Universe. I've been kind of taking a bit of a break, except when I'm doing Mayhem, because there are things that I need to get done, like I have to finish a shirt for fighting for the end of May, and I have to do it all hand stitched. So, that's been taking up a large part of my time. But that's okay. We're going to hunt some Aatrox this morning, and I do have some Mayhem to finish up, but I'm going to do that for tomorrow's video. I got to go down to Camp Farnsworth in Vermont and get ready for an SCA event, which is happening in... It's the event I'm making the shirt for. It's next month, at the end of the month. And we've got to clean the place so that it's serviceable. So, here in about an hour, because it's 8:30-ish on Saturday morning now. I'm literally posting this immediately after I'm done recording it. But I got to be there for 10. And I'm probably going to be there until like 3, 4 o'clock doing cleaning, and we're having a staff meeting. So, there's a glimpse into the day of Julian McBain. So, as I'm sure you all know by now, I released my McBain Moments video series this week. And I'm actually really enjoying producing that. And I've had to nuke a few videos. That was kind of expected because it's a much different format. I've never done it before. I did probably a dozen test videos for both Entropia Universe and my one-player gameplay before I actually started posting things. So I'm expecting there to be kind of a learning curve. But it's been a lot of fun. And so as we develop the series, I'm really looking forward to what it'll turn into. And I'm hoping to start more conversations. And I know something I should probably start the series off with is more questions rather than just talking about stuff. Because you're my audience, and I'm really grateful that you want to hear what I have to say, that you're interested in what I have to say. But at the same time, I'd love to be able to engage with you better. So maybe that's going to try to work itself into how the short format series goes. Got a little bit of lag this morning. And I did want to take a moment and kind of go into the suit and why I'm doing the series wearing a suit, you know, absolutely dressed to in whatever my Sunday best is, quote unquote. I love how it looks like I'm like shooting him with my mind. That's hilarious. Oh, there, now the gun shows up. Now I gotta switch weapons. Gosh, this is laggy today. That's not fun. I think the servers are a little overloaded with Mayhem going on, so there's gonna be a bit of lag back and forth. That's okay. So the reason I wear the suit is because, for me, the suit is how I face the world. It's battle armor. So I've mentioned before, I'm deeply introverted. I am not frequently comfortable in large crowds. And so here I am putting myself in front of the world because anyone that will be able to watch these YouTube videos for all time, or at least until YouTube decides to go away, which I don't think is going to be in my lifetime, and it's very doubtful it's going to be in the lifetime of any of our children. So it's out there, and it's going to be out there. So for me, wearing the suit when I show my face is a way of armoring myself against what others might think of me. And I'm sure the first thing that anyone with any intelligence is going to say is, oh, social anxiety, yes. That's just the way it is. But I'm mentioning it not because of, to say, I've got all these problems. No, it's, you can face anything that you need to handle. You can deal with any experience. You can deal with any challenge if you go into it with the right mindset. And you're going to be uncomfortable at first. And you might be uncomfortable all the time. Like, I am far more comfortable in front of the mic now than when I started 9.5 months ago. But, sometimes I've got to call people in my job, and that doesn't necessarily make me comfortable. It's just something you got to handle. And so to make up for that, I dress in the suit. Because the suit makes me feel powerful. And so if you're going to do something that makes you uncomfortable, assuming you don't have to be in some sort of practical protective gear of any sort, then dress in a manner that makes you feel comfortable. Or makes you feel powerful is what I should say. Dress in a way that makes you feel powerful. Because that is a much easier way to overcome that anxiety than trying to psych yourself up for it over and over and over again. And then when something little goes wrong, all of that comes crashing down. And is it going to be a perfect solution? No. It's not going to be a perfect solution. Nothing's a perfect solution. But if it brings you that extra 2% to get you across the line, that's what you need to do. And I know I'm gonna turn this into probably a whole season of the series, but when it comes down to it, in most cases, our biggest enemy in life is ourselves. Our biggest enemy in life is ourselves. We second guess ourselves. We doubt ourselves. I'm not worth it. I'm not capable. I don't understand. And you might not understand, but you can learn. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm not strong enough. I'm too fat. I'm too thin. Flush it. If you set a goal for yourself, you are capable of achieving it. It may take time. It may take longer than the other guy or girl. It might take less time than the other person. And you may fail 100 more times than they do, but that doesn't matter. One of my favorite Jordan Peterson quotes is, and it's one of the rules for life, it's compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. Your basis for comparison, when comparing yourself to anything, should only be against where you were before. Because we all move at our own pace. We all learn in a different style. We all operate on a different wavelength. It's just the way it is. And there are some universals. In most cases, the reason we fail is because we just sit there and make excuses for ourselves. Well, it's not the right time. Well, I've got too many obligations. Well, there's other things that are going on, and maybe it's just not a priority for me right now. That last one is the real issue. The excuses is that it's not a priority for you. You want to learn something. You want to achieve something. You want to build something. You have the time. You have the ability. Now, it could be that you don't have the money. And I don't think there's anyone that would argue that, someone that can barely afford rent can go out and start a business. One, it would be dumb for them to. Not because they're incapable, but because the risk to their family and livelihood is too high. But you can still take steps toward it. Find out what it's going to cost. Learn the skills you need to in order to actually accomplish or to build the business up. find a job in the same industry so you can get some experience, even if you have to do it as at the lowest rung of the ladder. You know, if you want to do, well, most of your trades are apprenticeship based. So like plumbing and electrical, it wouldn't make any sense for you to apply to one of those unless you're going to go through a formalized apprentice program, which is probably one of the most undervalued types of learning experiences in our country today, which is really sad. Like if you want to go into, I don't know, bicycle repair, you want to open your own shop, start by finding an existing repair shop, if there is one, and offering to work 1 day a week. Offer to do it for peanuts. If you want to be a marketer, try designing copy and offering it for free to the business in question. Maybe they'll buy from you. Or offer to work for them in their marketing department doing anything, photocopies. The foot in the door is the most important thing. And it doesn't always work, but it doesn't mean you stop trying. This is what I get for watching a lot of personal development videos and motivationals on YouTube on the regular recently. Been watching Dan Pena and Dan Locke, or Loke. I don't know how to pronounce his last name properly, and it really bothers me. He pronounces it Locke, so I'm going to assume that's the correct pronunciation for him. That's the most important thing, but like his mentor calls him, pronounces it Loke, which kind of makes me scratch my head. But both of them are kind of the same tough love that Jordan Peterson is, but they're a lot more aggressive about it. Dan Pena will strike you if he was allowed to. He used to hit his students. He'll say up front. But it's just kind of got me on this, this kick where, you no matter what you run into, you can get it done. It just means it's going to take more time, more energy, more effort, more sacrifice. And you might not be in a position to make that sacrifice because, we all have lives. I'm not as aggressive as the $50 billion man. You can't sacrifice your time with your children to build a business when your children need you. When you have children, you have to make that sacrifice for them. You sacrifice your own development for them until they graduate or until they're in a position where they can take control of their own lives, which realistically is between 14 and 16 for most children. Because by 14 or 16, they don't care about you anyway. They need your guidance, but they're probably not going to listen to it. And then when they turn 30, they'll figure out that you were right. Or if you were wrong, where you were wrong. Because for all the parents on my channel, and I don't think there are very many, you ain't always right, Mom and Dad. It's just the way it is. You're going to make mistakes. I make mistakes. I've got 3 kids. I make mistakes all the time, and I figure it out, and I apologize where necessary, or more accurately, I have 1 child and 2 almost adult stepchildren. And the only reason I'm making that differentiation. The only reason I'm putting it out there that one and the other is because we're a blended family. I don't have as much interaction with the teenagers as I do with the 11-year-old. But it's one of those things. You get out there, you do the thing, you make mistakes, and then eventually you'll be in a position where you can try your idea again. Now, I don't believe that the parent has to sacrifice everything in their lives when they have children. I think that balance is very, very important. And understanding that, you know, the guy has $50 billion, I also don't buy that there's no such thing as a work-life balance. Maybe there's no such thing as a work-life balance if you want to be that stinking rich. And fair enough, but you have to balance your priorities, you have to balance your responsibilities. And the one thing you can't sacrifice is your responsibilities to your family, or to your significant other, or your children, which I know they both count as family, but in a more narrow focus. Because that responsibility is something that you took on before anything else, and you accepted that. And there will come a time when you can likely go back and do the thing again. You might be 40, you might be 50. But guess what, guys? 50's not old. Especially not now. No, I've watched, over the course of my life, my actuarial life expectancy, which is the table people use to find, you know, to try and figure out when you're going to die so they can charge you the right amount of money in insurance primarily, but it's used elsewhere too. You know, I've watched it go from, I think it was 83 when I was 18, and now it's 89. And I used to be a tobacco user. And the first time I calculated it, I had never touched the stuff. So think about that for a second. I screwed up in life by doing things I shouldn't have for about 5-6 years. i.e. tobacco. And I'm still gaining in probable years of life. Which means if you are 100% clean and under 35, I'm willing to bet you're probably going to live past 100. I mean, I'm probably going to live past, I am going to live past 100. I have set that goal for myself. The last job I worked, and I work for a small business now, but I used to work for a large company. And in my second year, my mentor, or the person, at that point she wasn't mentoring me quite yet, but she was helping me learn a few things. She dragged me into her office, and she's like, okay, let's talk about your retirement, because I wasn't contributing to my retirement. And she intellectually browbeat me about not saving for it. And she goes, what's your retirement date? And I said, June 13th, 2112. I had started on June 13th in 2012. And she's like, what? I said, June 13th, 2112. She goes, I can't believe you have it down that precise. I said, yeah, it's my 100th anniversary. I was 29. I started there at 28. I was 29 at the time. I said, I plan on retiring at 128 years old, or you guys are going to find me dead at my desk. Either way, that's fine by me. And she laughed. But that's when I started thinking about that stuff seriously. That's 7-8 years ago now. But the truth of the matter, kids, is it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what mistakes you made. As long as you're not legally restricted from whatever it is you want to do. Almost any challenge can be overcome. Almost any mistake made can be... It can be made up for, or it can be worked around. It can be used as a learning experience. Use your mistakes as learning experiences. That's a far better way to think of them than as black marks or scars. And I truly think that that's the reason that a lot of us don't get anywhere in our lives. We allow our mistakes to define us rather than using them as learning experiences. I'm about to get another Aatrox. Accept your mistakes. Take responsibility. When you have the opportunity, take it then. As long as the risk to those things that have to be made a priority, family, children, your spouse, don't get sacrificed for it. Those are the only things that you can't sacrifice. You can't sacrifice your spouse, you can't sacrifice your kids. Everything else is you can work around. And you do the thing. So, that's all I got to say. Really looking forward to the next McBain moment. I think that series is going to turn out very well. It's kind of an extension of the vlog, but it's a much shorter format, so I'm really enjoying that. Got to buy a webcam at some point because using my cell phone is no bueno. As my buddy Fletcher said, it looks like I'm doing this on a potato. Or doing that on a potato. Which, in comparison, is pretty damn bad. Because you're going from recording the video, well, recording high quality video because I've got a nice, I've got a decent monitor. It's not, 4K or anything. It's a standard 1080p. You go from doing these vids, which are fairly high quality in comparison. Although there are plenty of people out there that make much better videos than I do. And you've got cell phone camera and Bluetooth audio. Whereas I use a Blue Yeti for the audio on this. I'm about to be attacked. Kill the dinosaur. These guys can be turned into pets. And if I had any clue on how to tame, I might just do it. Because they're really cool looking. And I think the Aatrox have I think their special ability is special. I don't see a lot of them out there. I think they're difficult to tame, but I don't have any clue how to tame a pet. I know it has something to do with whips. Oh, Jesus. Just like real raptors. I know they're kind of reminiscent of the Jurassic Park Velociraptor, even though that wasn't the actual Velociraptor. It started with a D as unpronounceable to me. And all of them were actually feathered, we found out later. But that particular moment when the two other Aatrox came in on me reminded me of Dr. Grant's lecture on how Velociraptors hunted, where one of them would take the eyes of the prey, and while you're watching that one, the two others would come in from either side. Which must have been a real downer for the Leptoceratops that they used to hunt. So, when people think Velociraptors, they think of the giant ones in Jurassic Park that were 6 to 8 feet in length, they were 6 to 8 feet at the shoulder. They were just, these huge killing machines. But actually, Velociraptors were a feathered predator that only came up to I don't even think they came up to, well, yeah, they probably came up to our waist. Overall, they'd still be dangerous to us. It would be like a lynx or a bobcat. I better heal up before I die. There we go. Dangerous to us, but not necessarily the deadliest. There we go. But something you don't want to screw with. Oh, that was a pretty good loot. 10 ped. I'll take it. How did we do on loot today? I haven't checked that in like a million years. Yeah, look at the lag. Wow. Ammo, strong boxes. 27 ped in liver oil. 6 ped in skin. We didn't do too badly, I don't think. Convert my ammo out. So, okay guys, thank you for watching. I really appreciate all the support you guys have given me, both here and in my regular Entropia vids, the one-player games, and now McBain Moments. I really appreciate all the support. Thank you for watching. You all have a wonderful day. I gotta go clean a camp.